Here are the tests on my 1966 Crane Whirlton. It is using a low tank with this Japanese Inax flush valve, and the water is set to just below the top of that. So I will show you guys a flush, and then let's see how it does on tests. This toilet has an awesome flush. I just wish it siphoned at the end. For the first test, let's see if it can take a washcloth. This toilet is in very good condition overall, aside from the cracks in the front, and I believe it has a fully glazed trapway, so it should perform very well. It certainly flushed differently that time, but about halfway through the flush I saw the washcloth come out the end, so it did definitely pass perfectly. For the next test, let's see if it can take a grocery bag. I'm guessing it will pass perfectly. Perfect pass, as expected. Now, let's see if it can take a washcloth and grocery bag together. I bet it will pass. It has a large, fully glazed trapway. Wow, perfect pass. For the next test, let's see if it can take a dish towel. This could go either way. This toilet does not have great siphon power. I'm going to let it refill and then I will try that test again, but this time with the dish towel at an angle. I still think it has a good chance of clogging, but it's worth a shot. It just doesn't have siphon power, which isn't surprising because this is a flushometer toilet on a low tank. It took 2 flushes, but it went through. That's honestly impressive. Overall, I would say the performance of this toilet is excellent. It is definitely on par or above other vintage toilets, even on a low tank. I can only imagine how good it is on flushometer, but I think the only thing I would want to retest would be the dish towel and maybe the dirt test, depending on how that does. So yeah, I would definitely install this if it had better bowl clearance, and we're going to see how that does in a little while. But now let's move on to the flush tests. For the first flush test, let's see how it flushes with a dry bowl. And there's a ladybug right there at the tip. This toilet has very poor siphon power, so I'm guessing that it will not siphon, but it will flush nicely. I bet if it had just a little less water, it wouldn't have siphoned. But what matters is that it did. Now, let's see how it flushes with a clogged siphon jet. I bet we'll see some nice swirling action with this one, and since the siphon jet is pretty large, I kind of think it'll siphon, even without the use of that jet. It actually started to siphon before about the middle of the flush, and then it stopped. So that was sort of disappointing. I'm going to flush that again, but this time I'm going to initiate the siphon so that it does siphon and we can see what that looks like. Even though it isn't totally natural, this will be pretty cool. Well, that wasn't really very epic, but it was still pretty cool. Now, let's see if it can take dirt. Like I said before, I think we're going to see some problems with the bowl clearance, but you never know, it could surprise me. The dirt is wet, so I'm using ash. And now for the proper bowl clearance test, I've got some actual dirt. So, let's see how it does. That was weird. I don't even think it siphoned. It actually didn't do too bad with bowl clearance either. It just left rocks, and toilets aren't meant to flush rocks. So the rinse is very, very good. It's almost perfect, actually. So I'm very impressed. If it were to have perfect bowl clearance, I would be kicking myself for getting a broken one. So I guess I'm kind of glad it didn't do perfectly, but anyway, I will give it another flush and we'll see if it can take those rocks as well as the rest of the dirt. The tank is not quite full, but it should do the job. It looks like all that stuff just swirls around at the bottom, so I can imagine minerals would build up there if it were on weak pressure. But anyway, that is all for this video. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and turn on notifications. It helps my channel a lot and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.